As the South Carolina women's basketball team prepares to play Auburn this weekend, there will be a special celebration prior to the game. The great A'ja Wilson will have her jersey retired at Colonial Life Arena on Sunday, and tickets for the event are selling for less than a fancy burger. That's right, you can celebrate one of the most decorated players in WNBA history for just $16, and they're still not sold out. Meanwhile, Caitlin Clark's fans are vying for $1,000 tickets for her retirement. What's the situation here? How did Wilson go from having a statue outside the arena to having trouble filling the arena? Seats for her own jersey retirement. We're going to break down the shocking fall from grace that has everyone in the basketball world talking, and I promise you won't want to miss the real reason behind this epic downfall. Caitlin Clark's crash outs continue, and it's all about the fact that she is now playing for Iowa. Well, she played for Iowa in her jersey, which was retired on the same day as A'ja Wilson's. You see how it doesn't work out the other way around, as A'ja Wilson's retirement jersey falls on February 2. Yes, she is 22 years old, so it is definitely the correct thing to do. Unfortunately, Caitlin Clark was the same number to the AIA fans, so it is also the right thing to do. People have been saying, oh, AIA had decided her first, and Clark's jersey has been in the bleachers since preseason. Can you believe what's happening with A.L. Wilson's jersey retirement? It's like a ghost town out there, and South Carolina is actually giving away free tickets to avoid empty seats. You might be wondering, wait, isn't this A.L. Wilson? Yes, the same A.L. Wilson, who is one of the most decorated players in WNBA history. But the most intriguing part is that her jersey hasn't even been retired yet. However, if it had been up to her, she probably would have had that jersey retired as soon as she graduated. She already has a statue. Now you may be wondering how we got here. Let's go back in time to when A.A. Wilson was the undisputed queen of South Carolina basketball. It's been nearly 7 years since she led the Gamecocks to their first ever national title in 2017, and that moment made South Carolina famous. I believe A'ja made a commitment at South Carolina to give 110% of who you are, not just 110% of who you are as a player. And I believe that's a significant part of her legacy because she's the GOAT, amazing. And if Wilson had been the best basketball player to play for South Carolina, you would think that they would have retired her jersey immediately. However, after 8 years, her jersey is still in limbo. When you consider everything that has transpired since Wilson graduated in 2018, including the fact that LeBron James has switched teams twice, that a new superstar has emerged in college basketball, and that Wilson herself has won 3 WNBA MVP awards, South Carolina is acting as though they have just realized they had this incredible player who deserves some recognition. You may be wondering why. Well, it turns out that they have a rule that requires them to wait 5 years after a player's final college season before retiring. Wilson already has a statue outside the Colonial Life Arena. They put it up back in January 2021. To put it straight, they built a whole statue for her, but couldn't be bothered to retire her jersey. It's like building a shrine for someone, but forgetting to hang up their picture. Can you believe the absurdity of it all? Their jersey. But even with that policy, they're still 2 years late to their own party. It's like they forgot to send out the invitations and thought, oh, shoot, we better do something for AA already. All of this is mind-blowing, right? When Caitlin Clark is making waves and the talk of women's basketball, South Carolina decides maybe we should honor our own superstar. It's difficult not to see this as a last-ditch effort to regain some of that spotlight, but the worst part is that they arrive so late to the game that it feels more like an afterthought than a celebration. People are saying, oh, AJ had decided her first, and yes, they announced A'ja Wilson's first. Clark's jersey has been in the bleachers since preseason, and it has been there for ages. There's a reason why Iowa USC on February 2. This has been planned since the day before they made the announcement. It's like South Carolina forgot to invite the guest of honor to her own birthday party last February, and people are wondering why it took so long, she said. This is A.A. Wilson, the player who made South Carolina women's basketball famous, who became a WNBA superstar, and who won Olympic gold. And yet here we are watching her alma mater fumble what should have been a slam dunk of a celebration. I'm going to get jumped, she said, adding that Iowa had announced they would be retiring Caitlin Clark's jersey on February 5th, which is February 5th, but the fact that it was February 2nd is what makes it so famous. There is a huge ceremony where they put her jersey up in the rafters, meaning that no one will ever be able to wear number 22 at Iowa again. All right, let's get started on this crazy ticket saga that has the basketball world buzzing. You won't believe the stark contrast between A.A. Wilson and Caitlin Clark's jersey retirements. It's like comparing a fancy burger to a five-star meal, and every single one of us knows that's what's going to happen. What's going to happen on February 2nd is that Caitlin Clark fans will be celebrating and A.J. Wilson fans will be yelling, "Look at A.J., look at A.I.A., look at A." And I really believe that she will say something about it. I would be shocked if she didn't. Imagine this, three-time WNBA MVP and Olympic gold medalist A.A. Wilson is having her jersey retired. You would think that fans would be lining up around the block for tickets, but the shocking truth is that tickets for Wilson's ceremony are starting at just $16 of a movie ticket and popcorn. You can witness basketball history. However, even at that bargain basement price, they're still not sold out. Her prices for her game are high, but the only issue is that Caitlin Clark's are literally 11 times higher. Now let's turn the page and take a look at Caitlin Clark's situation. Her retirement in Iowa City is like trying to get front row seats at a sold-out concert, with ticket prices soaring from $200 to over $1,000. Can you believe that fans are willing to pay a lot of money just to be in the building when Clark's number goes up? The demand is so high that Iowa is finding it difficult to keep up. The cheapest ticket for Clark is $522, if that tells you anything. But why is there such a huge difference? How did we go from Wilson, a player with a statue outside her arena, to having trouble filling seats for her own jersey retirement? Both of these women are extremely talented athletes. So it's not just about their skills on the court. It seems like they saw all the excitement surrounding Clark and thought, oh yeah, we've got a good player too. But instead of leveraging Wilson's prime, they're attempting to steal some of Clark's shine. It's no wonder that Wilson's jersey retirement feels more like a thought than a celebration. We'll honor A'ja Wilson and Keen Clark in ways that will forever cement their legacies as fans argue over whose influence is greater. Clark's retirement jersey commands prices more typical of marquee NBA games. But we're well past that, people, and now they're so desperate to fill seats that they're giving away tickets for free. Can you imagine one of the most decorated players in WNBA history, and they can't even sell out her retirement jersey at $16 a pop? It's not just sad, it's downright embarrassing. Meanwhile, in Iowa City, they're likely wishing they had a larger arena. The disparity is so stark that it's almost comical. A three-ring circus attempting to meet the demand for Clark's retirement ceremony. This seems to be the most costly WNBA or women's basketball game ever. What's really going on here? Is it just a matter of timing, or is there something more going on here? Some people are wondering if Wilson's previous remarks about Clark might come back to haunt her. Remember when Wilson couldn't stop making fun of Clark? Well, the tables have turned and things are not looking good for Wilson. Many people are angry that this is the second day or the same day, and I say that many A'ja Wilson fans are angry that it's the same day. As far as I can tell, Caitlin Clark fans don't give a rip. Regarding A'ja Wilson's retirement from her jersey, I'm being honest here. This whole situation demonstrates how quickly things can change in the sports world. One minute you're the talk of the town, and the next you're having trouble filling seats at your own party. It's a harsh reminder that in the world of sports, it's not just about what you've done, it's about staying relevant and connected with fans. Wilson seems to sense the shift. She's been quoted as saying she feels like she'll be forgotten, and when you look at these ticket sales, you can't help but wonder if she's right. When the Hawkeye women's basketball team finished their second consecutive national runner-up season in April, Beth GS made it clear that a legacy had already been cemented just a week after her final game. Months before the official ceremony, Iowa announced that Clark's jersey would no longer be worn, waiting to take its place among the greats hanging high in the rafters. This momentum carried over into the next season, setting the stage for a fierce debate. However, the real story is in the striking contrast between how two universities have chosen to honor the legacies of their star athletes. The Hawkeyes understand the power of media attention and momentum, and they were prepared to seize the moment when Iowa played USC and Juju Watkins in their first nationally televised weekend game, 22 for number 22. I believe the game was February 2nd, so it's 22 at the time of this writing. South Carolina is taking a very different approach to retiring Wilson's jersey, despite everything she accomplished. The announcement felt like an afterthought, leaving fans wondering why it took so long. Then, almost unexpectedly, South Carolina made it official in October 2024, but nearly 4 months later, tickets still haven't sold out. The sentiments that were expressed were, "Oh, it's the same day as Asia Wilson, so how could you do?" First of all, I recalled that they announced that Asia Wilson was having a jersey retired, but I couldn't recall the date or anything else. When the news about Clark broke, I didn't think about Asia Wilson. And again, as with Caitlin Clark, this situation is going to raise important questions about how colleges handle the legacies of their top athletes. Iowa is taking advantage of the Caitlin Clark phenomenon, making sure she gets the farewell she deserves. The stark contrast between Clark and Wilson's jersey retirements shows something deeper about the state of women's basketball is no longer just about on-court performance. It's also about fan interaction, navigating celebrity, and developing a brand that goes well beyond the game. However, in the modern world, where there is no such thing as a sellout, and you can attend any event you want as long as you're willing to pay for it due to the secondary ticket market, as you can see in the nationally televised game between Iowa and USC and Juju Watkins on February 2nd, 22. Everything about it aligns with the idea of a true sellout. Wilson's jersey retirement should have been her turning point, but instead it feels like a lost opportunity. It's not just about statistics and ceremonies anymore. The real lesson comes from the contrast between A.A. Wilson and Caitlin Clark. These two athletes and how they've been handled show us exactly how to win or lose the hearts of fans. And honestly, they couldn't be more different. We'll get to compare the ratings because I would assume that game against Auburn will be televised somewhere. Both Wilson and Clark are amazing players, but only one of them is packing arenas, and it's not the one with a statue outside. Why is that? It's because Clark connects with her fans as if they're a